How important is chemistry versus compatibility?
Really uncomfortable here.
Now it's getting to get good.
I'm like, I want to put some gloves on.
I'm saying. See, I'm not
Gently.
so weird.
Let me turn
It
our
ain't
bed on.
that it. You turning the bed on?
Yeah,
I hear you on that one.
it's in the PM hour.
Look here. It's post noon, which means we're starting to prepare
Yep.
prepare for the sleep hours.
La noche, el noche.
The
What is it?
wonderful thing that I didn't know about before you,
What?
the mattress
Oh, the
warmer.
heated mattress pad. If there's one great thing I've brought into your life,
The mattress warmer.
the heated mattress pad.
Oh my gosh. If this ever ended, I know I
Don't
got
say I
that.
never did anything good for
I
you.
got that out the relationship, the mattress pad. My
You'll never be
gosh.
without one.
And the fact that one day they got messed up and then this sunbeam made us realize that they had one that had Bluetooth and an app control.
Thank you, Sunbeam.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Because that's the thing. Like we don't mind a cold room.
No, I
I actually
like
love
the cold
sleeping in a
room.
cold room.
Yeah,
But I want the bed to be warm.
I want it to be toasty
I want the
warm.
bed to be warm and the comforter to be all the way up to my neck. So the only thing you can see is my face. Because we're going to have a hat on.
Which you wear a little sleep mask, so really it's like this.
So now it's just this. Now I just look like Batman going to sleep. That's all you see.
Yeah. So if nothing else, I've brought good in your life.
Right. You brought
the
good into
heated
my life
mattress
speaking
pad.
through the heated mattress pad.
Yeah.
Everything else might have been crazy. Might have been, so much drama, so much craziness. But she did me right by that mattress pad.
The mattress pad. The heated mattress pad. I want a cooling one for the summer. Okay, so what question?
A cooling pad or the one that blows that air up, the whatchamacallit?
I don't know because I haven't tried either one. I feel like I need to test them out.
Don't they have? Do they have a cooling one? I know they have the fan that blows the air underneath.
Yeah, they have one that like blows the air on the mattress, and they have ones that are cooling too. There's like a chili pad or something.
Chili pad.
Something like that.
I got different things in my mind when I think of a chili pad.
Okay.
All right, back to answering questions. Today. Am I up first or are you up first?
I'll read the question and then decide.
That sounds like cheating.
Okay. I'll let you go first.
Oh, yeah, it's okay because you don't want to answer this question?
How important
Like we knew how that was going to be different.
Are you done?
No.
Carry on. I'll wait.
I'm ready now.
How important is chemistry versus compatibility?
Oh crap, are they different? Chemistry versus compatibility. Shoot, no wonder you made me answer this first. Okay, let's define these. Because I need to know if chemistry and compatibility are different things in the first place.
They are definitely different things to me.
Explain that to me.
Chemistry, I feel like, is that spark that people talk about.
Uh-huh.
And compatibility is how well can we get along or do we get along?
Have you ever had chemistry with somebody you weren't compatible with?
I think people can, yeah.
Because I feel like
because again, if chemistry is that spark that people talk about, or experience, that does not mean that you are compatible long term with this person.
Well, we're not talking about. Well, okay, maybe we are talking about compatible long term, but I'm wondering if you can have chemistry without compatibility. Because if
now compatibility doesn't mean that it's like missing connection.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think connection is different than like chemistry.
I'm having a hard time separating. I'm trying to imagine if I can have some chemistry with somebody I'm just not compatible with.
Do you have friends that you love but don't travel with or cannot travel with?
I'm sure I do.
As one person told it to me once, sometimes you can't travel with your best mates.
I mean, well, true. That sounds like somebody who's not from America. Best mates. I mean, I understand. For example, you can't always work with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
You can't always work with your friends. But I'm just thinking chemistry, the spark. Like, I just want to be around this person. Is chemistry limited to sexual chemistry?
I don't think it needs to be limited to that.
So we're saying chemistry in the definition is that spark that makes you want to be around a person.
Okay.
Okay. Then if you're not compatible, then can you want to be around the person?
But you're looking at it, I think that this chemistry is all encompassing. But I don't necessarily think that that's the case. I don't feel like that's the case.
How do you feel?
Again, I feel like chemistry is the initial connection. Maybe not initial, maybe it's longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
But as you get to know this person, it's not a good fit.
That's the chemistry to the compatibility.
No, I think that can, yeah, like chemistry is, let's say chemistry is an emotional experience, but that doesn't mean it's compatible.
See, okay. See, I would have read chemistry as being the physical experience. And then
How are you experiencing that?
In my loins.
You're so stupid. But does that mean that you're compatible? Does that mean you're compatible? You feel it in your loins. Does that mean that you're compatible with someone?
I'm not going to get from that point to anything else if we're completely incompatible. That's so I don't know. That's I don't know. That's why probably I'm having a hard time putting the chemistry outside of the compatibility, because I can imagine having the chemistry. I was almost at the chemistratic, and in my mind, I'm like, what word is that? I can imagine the chemistry just throwing up and just going crazy for a second, right? And then 2 or 3 or 4 words or something or more steps are taken, and then it ends because I'm thinking, okay, but this no.
Yeah, so let's say you experience that chemistry, but then you find out that this person doesn't want to have kids and you want to have kids, or has kids and you don't want kids, or doesn't want kids and you already have kids,
Right.
or that they're not good with their finances, or they're mean-spirited.
Right, and then that removes the compatibility, and now there's no longer a connection from a chemistry point of view.
But how many times have you talked to your friends or people or clients that you've worked with, and they've said, well, we have like, the sex is great, but after that or beyond that.
Yeah, after that or beyond that, we find out that we suck and that nothing's going on, and I can't deal with this, but the sex is great.
So what's most important then?
I mean, I would put, as we figure out this definition, I still haven't figured out how to delineate disconnected to. Delineate I can do. Disconnected to I haven't figured out. But I will put compatibility. I would put compatibility above chemistry.
You would put compatibility above chemistry?
First of all, I think part of the compatibility is having the chemistry, the connection from that chemistry perspective.
Or we talk about the slow burn.
Yeah, like I would think in that vein, I would think chemistry is your fast burn, and the compatibility is your slow burn, because ultimately,
I would agree with that.
Yeah, ultimately, having that compatibility allows the opportunity, even if, let's say, chemistry isn't initially there, that compatibility will allow you to find where the chemistry is, because you're compatible. So there's a space somewhere along the line that will make a chemistry connection that you don't have right now.
And when you say chemistry, you're talking about your loins, as
my
you said.
loins. So
I don't think it has to be limited to that.
No, it doesn't have to be limited to that, but I think, but still, that chemistry still for me kind of falls in that physical sphere. It does lean towards that, even if it's 75% chemistry. I mean, 75% physical and 25% mental. I think it still falls kind of in that quadrant if we talk about our leads, So if you have your physical, your mental, emotional, spiritual, the ones that I think are your most important, those are the main leads,
Right.
Those are your fundamental leads. So if you have those 4, I think chemistry tends to fall on the physical side. I think that tends to be where people think of chemistry as being the physical side. Even if they're thinking, oh my gosh, she's so intelligent. I can't believe she just dropped this theorem out of her mind and that she knows it, blah, blah, blah. Then almost the finished into that sentence is what?
That's attractive.
Nope. You know what the end of it is.
What?
I want to have sex with him.
Well, that's because you'd find that attractive.
I know.
Well,
But I
then
said
why
the end of the line. I didn't say the process in the middle. I find him attractive, so I. You know what I was getting at. You're just trying to be stubbornly right now. But no, it's but I do think chemistry kind of parks itself in that territory. But I think that the compatibility can be all four. See, where I feel like compatibility can be all four, I feel that
But I feel
chemistry is.
like you can be just drawn to a person, but it doesn't have to be sexually. Like you just feel drawn to this person, and that is chemistry.
What if we change sexual to intimate? Because there's
Let's think
or
about it in
affectionate. How
but
about that?
but let's think
Affectionate.
about it in non-romantic relationships. You can still have chemistry with someone.
You can, but we're speaking from a romantic perspective right now, aren't we?
I mean, we can be, but I think that this question could,
I think there are
be
tons of.
transferred to other like non-romantic relationships.
I mean, I think there are tons of things and tons of scenarios where you talk about where you see chemistry, and these people just work great together. Their interchange, their banter, their ability to know where the other person's coming from. They just know it. I still would say that might even fall on the physical. It's just not sexually physical. But still,
It
it
sounds like
doesn't
what
have
you're
to be
describing is
sexual.
this energetic pull towards someone or towards one another.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
That's probably what I'm thinking of. I'm trying to think of it in essence of what we're thinking about, because I feel as though chemistry can be different depending on where it is and what it is and how it's used. But I do think of what we're speaking about here, that chemistry still tends to fall. There are very few people I imagine who are going out there dating saying we had great chemistry, who aren't thinking about that in some physical affection, intimacy perspective.
What about ones you hear people talking about? Yeah, we went on a date and it was good and conversation was really easy. It just felt very comfortable,
Yep.
but I just don't find myself attracted to this person.
Yeah.
Is that chemistry? Is that compatibility?
That's chemistry.
So there's no chemistry there, even though they felt very easy.
I think the chemistry,
enjoyable conversation just
I think
flowed.
since we're talking about chemistry versus compatibility, I think in that scenario they had a high compatibility quotient and a low chemistry quotient, and they wanted either the balance or the opposite. But whatever it was, whatever their bottom line is on chemistry. So let's say their bottom line is, I can do 30% chemistry to 70% compatibility. That person they were having a great time with, they were great and compatible and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. But that chemistry was at 28% versus the 72%. And they needed that other 2% to hit their chemistry bottom line, and it didn't have it.
So when you hear a person say that, because that's something that
It's
I
said
feel
a
like
lot.
is said a lot.
We hear it often.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you think they should give it more time?
Yep. I personally believe that compatibility can likely, and I'm saying I personally believe this, why I think about whether I believe it at this moment. But I think I'm quite sure, almost positive, that I believe that compatibility can be transferred into chemistry way more consistently and effectively than chemistry can be turned over into compatibility.
Okay, I hear what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, is that chemistry or is that attraction? And or are they different or the same?
Oh crap, we throwing other words in here now. So are chemistry and attraction the same?
Yeah.
No.
So does that what you just described, the chemistry can develop over time, essentially is what you said.
Yep.
Is that really chemistry or is that attraction?
You got these trick questions.
I'm honestly asking this. I don't know.
I believe that chemistry and attraction are not the same. I believe that chemistry can be a part of attraction, even though they are not the same. So apart but not equivalent. Does that make sense so far?
Mhm.
All right. Now, since you are compatible, as you get to know each other, you can find out more ways that you're even more compatible with one another. Because oftentimes when people talk about chemistry, they're doing it 5 or 10 minutes into the relationship, right? And in 5 or 10 minutes not being an absolute number, just relative.
Mhm.
So they've been on a date or two and they're like, I don't feel the chemistry. Or they saw the person and then the first thing they're like, I don't feel the chemistry, or I do feel the chemistry, or something of that nature. But they haven't learned these deeper inner push and pulls and knobs and things about this individual. So as they go on and begin to learn more about how compatible I am with this person, what is their inner this, or what is their drive to that, or how do they do this thing, or oh, they really absolutely love that. I didn't know anybody else who liked things like that. And you find out this new information, then this new level of attraction can grow. And because this new level of attraction can grow, when you first hear that piece of information, or that first hear or see or feel or whatever sense that thing, that is whatever is the spark for you, then all of a sudden that chemistry pops at that point. And that chemistry helps fuel the growing, that chemistry fuel mixed with that compatibility fuel helps form that level of attraction. So I feel as though you can have chemistry as a part of attraction, but they are not the same thing.
Okay. What about when they say that? So is their chemistry separate from, like you said, in your loins?
In my loins.
You feel it in your loins. Is their chemistry separate from a sexual pull or attraction or whatever?
What, at that point?
Just in general.
No, I think chemistry is probably, I still believe that chemistry is attached to that physical side. So no. So
So what about when
even at that point, when they just all of a sudden get a spark on the chemistry side of the world, 6, 7, 10 months into dating, it's still all of a sudden that makes them think, oh dang, I've just learned this, and ooh, they just got sexier to me.
I feel like that's attraction. So what about when they're talking about, like, in the entertainment industry
Yeah,
and these two actors have great chemistry together?
right. Well, Brad and Angelina had great chemistry. Where'd that end up? Like, no, so but I do think sometimes, and here's the weird thing. I think one of the things with acting, which actually makes this a bad example, because I think there's great examples. I think acting might be a bad one, is because in acting, oftentimes people are trying to access deeper emotions and express deeper emotions, probably more so than in even a relationship. At the beginning of a relationship, people are kind of hiding their emotions or trying not to give too much. In acting, you want to be as vulnerable as possible so you can give everything you can to the character and the story and blah blah blah. So when people are saying two actors have great chemistry, I do believe there is something in there that's a sexual, really intimate type of interchange that two actors are having with one another that actually supports what I'm saying. That being said, if you're talking about an office building, and you're talking about the marketing person who's working with this tech guy to try and sell this new program, and they're working together on a sales pitch to try and sell this company on this new program, and they get up and they can just banter back and forth, and you're looking at, and somebody looks at them and says, wow, they have great chemistry. I don't think that one's as dependent on saying, hey, they're sexual with one another.
Mhm.
But keep in mind that when we think about the main leads, we're talking about them in a land of relationships, in romantic relationships. If you're talking about in the land of your coworker, you're generally not going to have the physically in there as one of them anyway. So now you're talking about mental emotional. You probably might not even have the spiritual. So you're talking about mental emotional. Well, they just vibe with each other on the mental level, and that's where their chemistry comes from, because you've slid a couple of the leads out. Now the two leads you need to align with, they are right here in that mental space with one another. They just communicate it differently, and because they understand each other so strongly mentally, that it sounds great. But you shouldn't be operating on two mentalies if you're trying to get with somebody romantically. So that's where I'm saying I can. That's where I'm saying for me, I can parse these things out and slide these pieces around. And I know for you, it gets complicated, but
It does.
but, but but that, I mean, that would be the answer to that question.
Yeah. So
Now, did you
the
answer that
short
question?
form, I think I was answering it when we were talking about at the beginning. Like, I think compatibility is more important than chemistry, but also I don't feel like chemistry is strictly or even primarily just a sexual like pull towards one
So, what do
another.
you define chemistry as then?
I feel like chemistry is an energetic pull towards one another. I think you can have it with your friends. I think you can experience it with, a cashier at the grocery store,
Mm-hmm.
just somebody that you like. Let's be honest, you would go into the grocery store and they know you in the grocery store,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Right.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, yeah.
Or you can say this person has great chemistry, but
Yeah.
maybe we don't have chemistry together.
Right.
Right. So
Right.
maybe it's just this energetic, what do you call that?
Exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like where you say, like, oh, that person has great energy or whatever. And they exude that. So I think that chemistry can be separate from a physical, attraction or pull or something to that effect.
So, if you say, same example, if you have two people going on a date, they have great chemistry. You have two people who are actors, they have great chemistry. And then you have the marketing person and the salesperson, and they have great chemistry. If you're saying that the people going on a date have the same chemistry as the salesperson and the marketing person, are you saying they go on another date, continue to date? That's just that chemistry is just as good as a romantic chemistry.
I think that you could.
Okay.
I think that you could because what you're assessing for is this, like, you can have chemistry and be compatible,
Yeah.
but if one is lacking, if you have chemistry but not compatibility, then that's going to be a problem long term.
Well, I'm wondering how is then in your scenario is the person who's the company, they have the chemistry that's the equivalent of IT guy and marketing person. They have that chemistry. How
Okay.
is that different than compatibility? Because those feel the same.
Say that again.
How is the person who just has the chemistry with the coworker?
Okay.
How is that different than the person who has romantic chemistry? Not how is that different? If the person has the same chemistry as the
Maybe it's
coworker,
not the same chemistry. Maybe it's just chemistry.
well, but they have chemistry, right?
Maybe they have an energetic connection with one another, but it doesn't mean it's romantic.
But it's a professional energetic connection, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, because
So you have a professionally
Okay.
appropriate connection. Do you still want to date that person?
I mean, some do.
In the world of what we're talking about, is that the person you continue to date? You have a professional chemistry connection, energetic connection. Is that the person that
Maybe
you would
that
say
goes
is going
along
to
the
bring you to
lines
your
of
level of
people are
happiness?
like, this is my, work spouse.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. But the work spouse is the person you never touch, theoretically.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, especially if you have a home spouse. So, or they have a
Or
home spouse,
partner,
right?
yeah.
Home partner. So, but is the work partner, the work spouse, the one you really want to romantically date?
I mean, perhaps not, but what are you? I'm not unsure what you're
Because
getting
I'm
at here.
I'm getting I'm getting at the varying levels of how, for me, chemistry is specifically physical and romantic, and that version of chemistry you're saying doesn't necessarily have to be. But then, if that version of chemistry is not romantic or physically connected, is that the person you still want to date? Then you're talking about somebody you're trying to date and have romantic relationship with and have a long life with, but you don't have romantic chemistry. You just have professional chemistry.
Okay.
That's once
This
again.
is one of
Are
those
you
things
trying to marry your
like you
coworker?
just said a minute ago that this becomes way too complicated.
I'm just wondering. Are you trying to marry a
me.
coworker that you don't have a
Hopefully
romantic
not.
feeling
Not if,
about?
I mean, if neither one of you are partnered, then maybe you do want to marry this coworker. But if one of you is partnered, maybe we need to consider that.
I'm
But
saying
that's if you're
in
like
our
looking
land
at a
of
monogamous relationship. Some people are not, and that's okay too.
in our land of wanting
But
to
the question is
advocate for the
this.
happiest. Hold on, no, don't you dare! Don't you? In our land of advocating for the best romantic relationship you can have, that's your easiest version of love that brings out the best you. If it's somebody that's your coworker chemistry versus romantic chemistry, is that the equivalent?
The
Is that the
equivalent
same?
of is that the same type of chemistry?
Yeah, so is romantic chemistry
I
and
just
coworker
said
equivalent?
earlier, no. I think there are different types of
Okay.
chemistry.
All right. I was just wondering if that
So
chemistry,
maybe my answer was too complicated for you.
whatever. I just wanted you to clarify.
I had already said I think there are different types of
I needed
chemistry.
you to clarify a second time. I needed to be clear.
I don't know how much clearer I
Not
could
buried
be.
inside the paragraph. I needed to be the one single line that was
This
heard
is
and
where the
said.
idea that arguing in intimate partner relationships is not wrong or a bad thing. How you communicate is
So you were going to you're going to go back to that.
so how
you were
important is
giving your
chemistry versus compatibility?
Right,
I think
right.
compatibility is more important
Okay.
than chemistry because I think that is something that attractiveness or attracted to itness
Yeah.
is something that can be cultivated
Yeah. Yeah.
and grow over time.
Yeah.
Where I feel like in terms of intimate partner relationships,
Uh,
that chemistry is taken as is implied to be like the spark,
yeah.
you know.
I think I'm laughing as you say that because the funny part is, after trying to define chemistry all that much, you and I basically had the same answer at the end. We both value the compatibility over the chemistry.
Yeah, the
And
same
we
answer.
both said
Yeah.
you could develop
We
the
might
chemistry out of
disagree.
compatibility.
No, I said attractiveness or whatever. But yeah, like your idea of chemistry being one primary thing, I don't agree with
Yeah.
that.
I didn't say it was the only thing. I said it was primarily based in that one thing.
First
But
you said
here's
it
the
was
thing.
like the
Here's the
only.
thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. And this goes back to that thing of definitions and expectations and people having different definitions and expectations.
Yes.
Because chemistry is constantly referred to, constantly talked about, whether it's with us, whether it's friends talking to us, clients talking to us, or just people. Chemistry is constantly referred to like, oh, I had great chemistry. I had great chemistry. And it's like respect. Nobody knows what that means. In what way did you have great chemistry? Even if sometimes you ask a person, what way did you have great chemistry? And they'll say, I don't know. It just felt good together. But there's no clarification on why. Did you feel good together because both of y'all were feeling it in your loins? Did you did you just really feel that you had great chemistry because you had great conversation and the ability to banter back and forth was wonderful, or you discuss the same basic things all the time, or you just have similar value? What was the
Oh,
chemistry
here's a
based
good
on?
question.
Yeah.
What about when one person thinks that there's chemistry, but the other person doesn't?
Oh, then see, this is only going to support my argument.
That's then it goes back to what I was saying. Like you're attracted to their energy, but they're not attracted to yours.
I
Or
feel like
vice
that goes
versa.
back to what I was saying was
Like
their
the-
chemistry is defined in one quadrant and your chemistry is defined in a different one.
Like the one I talked to, the awkward date that I had
Yeah.
that I told you about, right? He
Mhm.
was way more attracted to my energy
Yeah.
or whatever than I was
His.
to his.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I was like, yeah, this isn't.
Yeah.
This is not it.
Yeah.
Like no question in my mind, this is not it.
Right.
And he's like, this is gonna be great.
You're like, we weren't even considering it.
Yeah.
You already had him
We're gonna
back
have
in church from
kids
his perspective.
And I'm like, no, we are
He become a
not.
deacon and everything because he was with you. You're like, nah,
Yeah.
homie.
So when one person thinks there's chemistry, but the other one doesn't,
They had the
then
wrong
that's
formula.
right. That's like you're
Yeah.
attracted to their
Yeah.
energy,
Yeah.
or you're misreading it, something
Or
like
attracted
that.
to their something. But yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it wasn't reciprocated.
Yep.
So then that begs the question: does chemistry need to be? Is real chemistry? Both are experiencing it.
Oh, see, now you're asking other questions you don't want the answer to.
Okay, we'll just call
No,
it quit.
I-
Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, yeah, uh-huh. That's not what my chemistry was ending this podcast. Yeah, we will have to answer that one. Now we're gonna have to explore that one though. I don't think chemistry is a one sided thing.
You think it needs to be shared between two?
Heck yeah, I think everything between the partnership needs to be shared.
Well, yeah, I think in that
Yeah,
sense.
I mean chemistry has to
If
come
one
from
of
one
them is
side, and the other
feeling
one
it and
has to
one
have the
is
same
not
chemistry,
feeling
and your
it.
chemistries have to connect. So you can feel all your chemistry you want to. If somebody else doesn't feel it, doesn't.
I think also you brought up a good point that we need to explore more is communication and definitions.
Oh yeah,
And people are arguing about things that they haven't clearly
you haven't clearly defined. Yeah,
Because that's I mean, we've done that.
especially with me.
Yeah.
Especially with
I've
me.
especially done it with you. Or what do you
No,
mean?
no. I'm just saying, especially with, well, I don't know which way it was, but especially with the fact that I specifically know different varying levels of definitions, or definitions might change based on connotations or locations or purposes. And then and that's not even to say the broad definition. The broad definition might be one thing, and the definition for purpose might be, or specific scenario might be something different. And which definition are we arguing on?
Right.
You know?
So we will put that in
the box.
Yeah, of
Later.
topics to cover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
We need to figure out some food because neither one of us wants to cook, and we're not ordering out.
Good to see everybody.
Real comfortable here.
Now it's getting to get good.